The inscribed stone may not have offered a clear direction, but I know of a legend. Long ago, a divine stone once prompted the Tatarian ancestors to migrate here. Your inscribed stone may have a connection to that divine stone. But this is just a guess. We'll have to verify it ourselves.
So in today's video I'm going to be talking about TARISLAND Lore. I'm going to try to summarize it and talk a little bit about it. The game has been criticized a lot. I think there's a lot of people who are very angry at life and they criticize any and every game that comes out. It's actually good. Make your own mind, play the game, it's free to play, it's a good story, it's the generic story in a way, but it's well presented. People are complaining about the language. You have to understand the language, it's not just language, the language is the way that people understand the world. So sometimes some words are going to be really hard to translate, and it's not going to make fully coherent sense in a different language. Probably they have the same when they translate English World of Warcraft to Chinese. It's there's a lot of influences from World of Warcraft, but it does present a little bit of a spin on the perennial mythology stories of the mmorpg genre, and it's good. So I'm gonna go into it. Basically, you are this quote-unquote hollow who just wakes up and you don't remember anything. You have some visions whatsoever, and you find yourself with an inscribed stone. This inscribed stone, it sometimes sends you guidance or something of that nature. So anyway, you meet this priestess Jaya, which is like the Chinese version of Jaina from World of Warcraft. She's an elf. The characters are and the classes are locked to specific races. So as a paladin, I had to be an elf, which is good because I think the elves in this game are the most interesting part. The cinematic that was really good in this game had to do with the elves and their story. So anyway, she tells you that there's this ancient tribe, which is like the Tauren, and you meet like this Tauren guide, and they also have some sort of an inscribed stone. So there's this whole idea that the stones are connected to ancient cultures and are connected to the gods or goddesses and the heavens and the universes and whatnot, but everything presents itself as a mystery, and the cinematics do a good job into trying to let you know about all of this. So anyway, you advance through the story, and it turns out that this Satguna guy, the chieftain of the Tauren, I don't even remember how they're called in this game, but it's just the same thing, but a little bit different. You know, they're trying to do it. You have to remember that this was supposed to replace World of Warcraft in China, because they pulled the rug on them, and they love World of Warcraft. I think it is a positive thing. Whatever happens with TARISLAND, if it's good, no, you like it or not, you have to celebrate that they created their own MMORPG with like 9 themes and positive things and cool fantasy stuff when they weren't gonna be able to play World of Warcraft. So in any case, it goes on, and it turns out this chieftain betrays you somehow or something of that nature, but he has his own intentions. What happens is that his son died and he wanted to bring him back to life, so he colluded with this dark power with the pyramid. There's a pyramid in the sky, if I didn't mention, sort of like in World of Warcraft. So and a lot of lore, there's this idea of pyramids in the sky with ties with the alien phenomenon and so on and so forth, which is something really interesting that our mythologies and our fantasies are exploring. But in any case, he colludes with these dark entities. He becomes an apostle, quote-unquote, an apostle of this dark spider lady. Basically, when she brings her son back to life, he comes as some sort of necromantic abomination, and he's like, yes, I wanted him to come back alive, but not this way, and now he's sad, and he tells the main Tauren guy, which is like Bane, I think, from World of Warcraft. He says, he tells him that he's the future of the tribe, something of that nature. It's just the setup to present to you that this power is corrupted, this negative power. Well, it is very powerful, it is corrupted, and it's never gonna do anything good. So now the future is up to you. For some reason, the stone keeps reacting to you. So the ancient stone of this Tauren tribe, I'm gonna call them Tauren because I don't remember what they call them in this game. It reacts to you, so it lets you know you're something special, there's something going on with you. Alright, so after that, this long guy tells you that you should go to Silverlit and warn them about all these dangers oncoming. You arrive to Silverlit, it's very fantastic, high fantasy, it's like Stormwind but in the heavens, in the skies, it's very high fantasy, a little bit of a tone of Final Fantasy in it with some Heavensward inspiration in it, but everything is very superficial, nothing too in-depth. They present to you a few new characters, so basically you tell Alduin over there, or Catalan, whatever his name is, he's like the prince or something, and you tell him about the dangers about to come, and he talks about this Nidhogg weapon. Nidhogg is an item from Nordic mythology, and it's very present in Heavensward, which is, I found that very, so they kind of just reduce everything into a very simple thing. It's just, this part of the story is a little bit of filler, but it's very high fantasy, it's very well done, very well presented, very nice environments. So anyway, you go to into this library because the creators of the weapon disappeared or something of that nature. So you go into this library, and this library is the next dungeon or the first dungeon, I cannot remember. And it's a nice environment as well. And then a few interesting things happen over there.
Look to the stars and seek freedom. Face your destiny and find the truth.
Look to the stars and seek freedom. Face your destiny and find the truth. I think at this point the lore gets a little bit more in-depth. I found this phrase extremely interesting because it's the whole cosmic thing, and then you learn about the elves and how there's this whole cosmology and the gods and goddesses and so on and so forth. There's mainly a god and there's a god of chaos, there's the opposite force. And so the whole thing about the elves that I find interesting, in real life the elves come from Norse mythology, and there is something called the light elves, the Josafar, the Losjafar, something of that nature. I cannot pronounce it correctly, but in any case, these entries of the light elves, which are elves of light, and you connect to the whole thing of the light and so on and so forth, it's in real mythology, and it's in modern research, as I've said before. I'm not gonna connect with the modern research and the real thing, but I find the whole thing that fantasies are trying to tell us very interesting. Look to the stars, seek the truth, find your freedom. It's like we're trapped here in these material realms, and then the worlds of light or the worlds of gods and goddesses and divinity, they're calling for us, and they want us to find the answers and the truth. So I think later on in this part of the story, you go and make the book of truth and something of that nature. You do some riddles, but the riddles are interesting and they present you some intellectual challenges, like what is more important, knowledge or destiny, and so on and so forth. I cannot even remember what really happened over there, but it was actually pretty interesting. So the whole thing is about finding your destiny and seeking this larger truth. Later on, you find this favorite guy, the guy who invented this weapon, Nidhogg or something like that, and he tells you that he, like you, used to have an inscribed stone, and the inscribed stone got him into trouble or something of that nature, too much power. He's trying to figure out the power in the stone, and he says this is why he built a barrier around Silverlit, to keep the stone away from outside influences. So this stone is very powerful, and he says you, like me, are chosen by destiny. So this destiny, the way that they translate it in the cinematics, is a Fatwina or something of that nature. When they talk about this god, this positive god or goddess, in the translation it says Fatwina, but when they speak they say destiny or something else. I get a little bit confused about that, but it seems that this destiny or Fatwina is the same thing and is the one who is calling you this sort of divinity. And then this favor guy, he tells you, now go and seek the mystery that I've been looking forward to all my life. So there's this a little bit of a depth into the lore of something of a higher cosmology. So don't listen to the guys who are telling you that they just came up with something to put some lore into a mobile game. This is not the case in this game. They are trying to tell you an actual in-depth story, and I think they do a great job trying to do this.